When Alien Isolation was confirmed in early 2014, I felt skeptical about the announcement, especially what happened to Aliens Colonial Marines, a game that we can all agree was downright terrible, but also the new entry was being developed by Creative Assembly, who are commonly known for the Total War series. However, after playing the game for myself, Alien Isolation is an engaging game that not only conveys suspense, but also the atmosphere and charm of Ridley Scott's film. Taking place 15 years after Alien, you play as Ellen Ripley's daughter Amanda, as she goes to Sevastopol station along with Samuels and Taylor in order to find the flight recorder, which contains the answers of her mother's disappearance, but when they attempt to board the vessel, they are violently separated from each other in a huge explosion, and as such Amanda must find her crew, the flight recorder, and uncover what is going on, but very quickly she realises the station is gone to hell, and there's something dangerous on board. The first thing you'll notice about Alien Isolation is how it recreates the vision of Ridley Scott's depiction of the future. The many objects in the environment, such as computer monitors, phone stations, power generators, all feel mechanical and outdated despite being set in the far distant future, but it shows that Creative Assembly put a lot of effort into recreating the Alien universe. Even the loading screens have a retro feel to them with their VHS look. Unlike Aliens Colonial Marines, Alien Isolation focuses on stealth to avoid detection rather than all-out combat. The various items you can create, such as flashbangs, EMP grenades, molotovs and noisemakers, allow you to distract, blind, disable and perish your enemies. However, since materials throughout the levels are scarce, deciding what to build can make the difference between life and death. There are guns as you explore the station, but with ammunition limited, combat should be considered as a last resort, but it won't matter when you encounter the main threat for the first time. Not only it can't be killed with lethal force, the AI is random, which makes situational awareness and positioning a key factor. Earlier in the game you get a motion tracker that can highlight the alien and other enemies, but while this can be an advantage, it can only display what's in front of you and doesn't tell you whether the enemy is above or below. This creates suspense as you have no idea where the alien is, and this is amplified by its thudding footsteps as it gets closer. Add to the fact that you've got murderous androids and human survivors that may be hostile, remaining undetected should be your main priority. However, if you get spotted, well, you're going to be xenomorph lunch. Also, there are no checkpoints, meaning you have to manually save your game via these phone stations. While this design choice may seem moot, it works in the game's context because it forces you to be careful rather than trying to speedrun your way through. Not to mention, if you cause too much noise, you could risk giving away your position. Alien Isolation is well produced and has superb direction, but despite the points in its favour, it does have some problems. If there's one thing the game likes to do, is it forces you to fulfill a prerequisite in order to get a task done. For example, in order to access this lift, we need to use a hacking device, but before we do that, we must find a power cell. This leads into a lot of backtracking, and since most of the time you'll be pushing buttons, pulling levers, bypassing security systems or restoring power, it does become tedious towards the second half. I also think the game tries to force you to like your companions. Taylor, for instance, joins your cause as she wants to find out what's going on, but you don't feel invested in her character because there's very little interaction, and her vitality later on has no sense of urgency. The performances, in my opinion, are convincing for the most part, and Amanda does come off as a strong, independent protagonist, but there are times where the voice acting does sound a bit flat.
How is she?
She needs treatment. Medical's nearby, but I didn't want to leave her.
I'll go and investigate, see what I can find. You stay with her.
In short, despite all of its issues, Alien Isolation is suspenseful and engaging. I like the crafting system, the xenomorph is dynamic and a force to be feared, the pacing is superb, and the attention to detail with the game's environment is incredible. This isn't a game where you can go guns blazing. You have to be careful of what you're doing, otherwise you will get killed. It may not be perfect, but Alien Isolation is enjoyable, and as such, I give it a 4 out of 5.